Hello and welcome to Mrs. Pickett's Back to School Night presentation. This is going to be a great video for you to watch if you were not able to make it on Thursday night for the presentation, or if you were with me on Thursday, you probably only heard about half of this presentation, so just fast forward about 15 minutes and you'll get the second half. I had a lot of information to share with you guys, and unfortunately I knew I wasn't going to get through it, so I made this video for you as a great resource to refer to throughout the year, and then again just to watch in the next few days to really learn a lot about what we do in 5th grade. First thing I want to talk about is your red folder. That's going to be a go-to for you this year if you're looking for any information specific to my classroom or to 5th grade. The very front folder is going to be where you're going to find any new information I thought might be helpful for you to really take a look at. Also, any kind of documents that need to be returned to school are going to be found in that front pocket. And then you're going to see the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of 3rd grade. That section is going to be specific to my 5th grade classroom. So anything that I do in my room as far as policies, procedures, and then there, in the very back of that are also going to be 5th grade policies that we do as a team. Our schedule will be there, and then other resources I thought might be helpful. The very back folder is going to be the VBF information that's school-wide. That's going to be our behavior management system. So just a little quick bit about who I am. I started my education at Curie of Ours. I went kindergarten through 8th grade there. Then I went to Scion for high school, Mizzou. I did my undergrad at Mizzou, and then I got a master's in curriculum and instruction at Baker University. I have been teaching for 11 years. 10 of those in 3rd grade, and this is my first year in 5th, so you guys will have to bear with me a little bit this year. Some very important things to me are my family. You'll see I come from a very big family of 3 girls, 2 which are married. I've got 2 nieces, Emma and Charlotte, who go to Curie of Ours, and then Patrick just turned 1 a couple days ago, and he belongs to Mrs. Allen, who is a kindergarten teacher, if any of you know her. And then my personal family, Mr. Pickett and I got married 2 years ago on July 5th, and we had our little Izzy's been around my life for about 7 years, and then on July 3rd we welcomed Penelope into our lives, who's been wonderful. Some of you got to meet her at Back to School Night. One of my hobbies is scuba diving. You'll see a picture of Mr. Pickett and I there doing a shark feeding, so that was pretty fun. So to dig into the curriculum a little bit, a very important piece and something that's probably new to you for our classroom is that we are a flipped classroom and we do PBL. So I'm going to take a few minutes to kind of explain what that is. In a regular classroom, a typical instruction would be over here on the left here, where the teacher is standing at the front of the room talking and teaching, where the students are listening. Whereas the flipped classroom is opposite. The kids get the teacher instruction at home and the students practice at school. What studies have been shown that students who do homework at home, let's say they're doing 25 math problems and they're not understanding. They're getting 25 math problems incorrect potentially. And then they come back to school. It's going to take me 25 times to correct the mistake that they've made and then 25 more times to fix it. So studies have shown that practicing at school is really helpful for the student and the teacher. That way, if a student is making an error, I can quickly see it, quickly fix it, and correct it before it becomes a mistake that they have a hard time fixing, if that makes sense. So what happens in a flipped classroom is students get a video sent home every 2 to 3 days. They watch that video of me teaching, very similar to something like this video, and then they come back to school and they practice. A really important piece of flip videos is it's a new skill for them. So it might be something that they've never seen before, and that's okay. They're not supposed to have it mastered in the video. They will just get an introduction to it, and then when they come back to the classroom, that's where we really practice and get into the details of the lesson. So with this model of learning, it's really helpful because the kids get information at their level, at their pace. So if a student maybe has a hard time sitting still, they can pause the video, they can get up, they can walk around and come back to it. Same if they have to use the restroom. If they don't understand, they can rewind and watch it again. This allows me to duplicate myself and for me to be archivable, which means they can watch me over and over and over again. So if we're in the classroom and they're not understanding, I can put them on a tablet or a device of some kind where they can watch my video while I may be helping a small group. So I'm able to duplicate myself, which is probably my favorite piece of a flipped classroom. Not only is this helpful in that regards, but it also allows me more time in the classroom to really work with the kids, see what they need, and individualize the instruction. You're probably asking, well, if you don't do the homework at home anymore, you're getting the instruction, what are you doing in the classroom? In the classroom, we do what's called a PBL, which some people call it problem-based learning and some people call it project-based learning. I kind of do a little bit of both. So this challenges students to learn how to take charge of their learning, and it really provides a lot of engaging hands-on activities that are real-world experiences. Students are able to work in small groups. Students are able to research, investigate, and really understand why they are learning what they are learning in a really hands-on manner. So here are some examples of some PBLs that I've done now. These are third grade PBLs. However, I'm going to take a lot of these ideas, make them work for fifth, and then come up obviously with some new ones. I'm very excited about this year. Over here, you'll see this is a golf course that we did where students were working on angles and measurement and lines, and they created a golf course, which they then got to play. This one would be our Kool-Aid fraction craze, where the students were working with equivalent fractions, and we got Kool-Aid out and they were measuring. Over here was probably one of my favorites, is the Pickett's Pizzeria, where they were working on multiplication, and we were able to actually make pizza while they were learning math. Finally, we've got over here is a Lego Dream House. In that activity, we were working on addition and subtraction with regrouping. Again, a third grade skill that the kids were able to have a budget to build their home. Over here, we have the Windmill Challenge, which again, we were working on angles and lines, and the kids made windmills, and then we tested them. It also pulled some science standards in. We also finally had the hospital PBL, again, one of my favorites, where the kids were working on measurement with volume and mass, and we turned the classroom into a hospital, and they were measuring different things, finding the volume of blood and parasites. It was really fun. So these activities, not only do they allow the kids to really dig deep into the learning, but it is so fun the kids don't even know that they're learning, and the opportunities for engagement are just off the charts. It's just amazing. So homework in a flipped class, let me speak about that a little bit more. Students will be required to watch the videos. I typically only require 2 videos a week. I don't normally send more than that, and they always have 2 days to watch it. Again, like I said before, they can now pause, rewind, or rewatch any part of the video at any time. The videos will never be more than 10 minutes in length. And students will have a piece of writing to do after the assignment, which I call a whisk. That allows me to make sure that they did watch the video, and they will complete a summary page. So how do they get the videos? I give the videos in many different formats. One is a QR code that is linked in your assignment book. A QR code you probably have seen all over the place. A lot of people are using them. If you don't have a QR code reader on your phone, Enigma down here is a great app that you can download for free and scan the QR codes. That will be in your student's assignment book every time we have a homework a video. I also post it to my class Facebook account. It's on YouTube as well. I also post it to our blog. If you don't have internet at home, that's not a problem. I can download it on a flash drive and send it to home, and you can send it back, and I can reload the videos every time for you. Or your child is also welcome to come into the classroom in the morning from 7:30 to 7:50, or after school from 3:30 to 4 to watch the videos in the classroom, as long as there is someone to pick them up after school. So that WSQ or WISC that I talked about is a pretty simple form to fill out. Again, students will get 2 days to complete each video and fill out the summary page. Students will be expected to share out in class the day the assignment is due. The W in WISC stands for watch, so when and where did they watch the video. The summary will be about 3 or 4 sentences explaining what the video was about, what did they learn, and the Q is for a question. What kind of question do you have about the video? Or maybe if they understood it, what question could you ask a classmate? What are some things you can do at home to be helpful? You can provide your child with a quiet place to watch the video or an opportunity to come to school to watch it. Ask your child about their S or their Q, or just look over it with them. Remind them that they can pause or rewind the video, and then attend any of our monthly open houses to take a look and participate in our learning experiences. I do like to open the classroom up to parents so you can kind of understand what the classroom looks like in this kind of environment. If you want any more information about flipped videos or PBLs, I've created a flipped video on flipped videos that I've linked to the front of your red folder. You can watch that. It's about 20 minutes or so, and it goes in a lot of detail about flipped videos and PBLs. I also have 2 quotes here from parents explaining their experience with the flipped classroom in the last couple years that I've been doing it. And then again, at the bottom here, there's a link with more parent interviews that you can watch. Please also feel free to follow us on any of our social media sites. We are on Instagram and on Facebook. I typically post a lot of reminders, flipped videos, pictures, sometimes assignments on Facebook on a very regular basis. Instagram is not as frequent, but on Facebook you can get quick access to anything we're doing in the classroom. This is a great way for you to kind of have a look into our room and see what kinds of things we've accomplished throughout the weeks. Some really important building-wide changes that I want to spend some time talking about are Father Story has asked for parents and other building guests to be Virtues trained. They are holding a training in September at Curie of Ours for anybody who was not Virtues trained. If you want more information on that, you can go to virtues.com, and I do know that they only allow 100 people to participate in that training. However, there are several trainings throughout the year, pretty frequently within the Archdiocese. I know that Father Story is not making that mandatory this year, but moving forward, that is something he's going to require. So if you're planning on coming to field trips or any kind of at-school activities, this is something you'll want to accomplish sometime pretty soon. VBF is our virtuous behavior formation, which there's a packet at the very back of your red folder if you want further information on this. And that is our school-wide behavior plan. In this, students in the classroom will get frequent reminders from me about behaviors, and maybe in a situation that they're not making the best choice, I will redirect and hope that they can get back on task. In that case, if they cannot, I will move them to a safe seat in the classroom, which will be in the back of the room, and I will have them fill out a think sheet. That think sheet is going to allow them to process their behavior and hopefully correct it to come back into the classroom. If that, again, does not work, we will have a mini conference out in the hallway to process the behavior. And from that, moving forward, they will go to the office. If students have 2 minor infractions in 5th grade, they will have a detention. 3 minor infractions will be a conference with parents from the office. So they have to get through all of these steps twice before an detention. So the rethink, the move, the mini conference, in the office 2 times, and then they will have a detention. If they do that 3 times, they will conference. The office will conference with parents, and I will be in attendance as well. And then if it's a major consequence, that will be immediate parent conference. So a minor might be lying, it might be goofing around, it might be consistent shouting out in the classroom, and a major would be punching, bullying, cheating, those kinds of things. Another new adventure for our classroom is going to be a makerspace. Makerspaces support students' creativity and design and content using ideas such as filmmaking, engineering, coding, and it also really supports collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. A really fun fact that I learned last year was that the students that we have right now in our classrooms will retire in 2070 in a world which we have no idea what it's going to look like. Makerspaces allow students to explore things that they're interested in, things that they love, engineering, coding, filmmaking, so that they can be ready for a world which we don't know. Some things that we have as goals in our makerspace is going to be to make our world a better place, do what we love, learn new things, and to support each other's work. Our makerspaces at the beginning of the year is going to be very collaborative. So they're going to build things for me. I may have them do where they're going to build a racetrack. They could do a marble track, those kinds of things where they're learning how to problem solve, to be creative, to think, and to work through situations. Once we've explored the different opportunities together as a class and they kind of know the resources that are available to them, they will build for themselves, whereas they get to find something that they're very interested in, research it, and then build. Finally, they're going to want to build to better our world. So an example might be, I learned about a kid who created headbands. She learned how to sew headbands, and then she added a thermometer into the headband so that she could give the headbands to leukemia patients who needed to have their temperature monitored in case of medication, in case of pneumonia, those kinds of things. So that student actually created something to better our world. Another created a device that helped prevent babies from getting locked into hot cars. So those would be some examples on how we can better our world. The makerspace is also a great enrichment activity or a great place for students to go when they finish work. It really is engaging and allows them to explore something that they're very interested in. In the very front of your red folder, you're going to find a couple pieces of paper that give you a little bit more information on what a makerspace is. And then if you're interested in donating any kind of supplies that you might have at home, or you're interested in purchasing for our classroom, you can check out the list in that section of your folder. Some things we're going to learn in religion this year. Students in 5th grade become servers, so around November they're going to get some information if they want to be altar servers. We spend a lot of time on sacraments, parts of the Mass. We dig into our Bible and do a lot of scripture studies, and we also pull religion into and reading and all other subjects throughout the day. Our Masses are on Wednesdays at 8:15 if you would ever like to join us. Reading, we do main idea and details, drawing conclusions, inferencing, cause and effect, author's purpose, context clues, problem solving, fluency, and summarizing. A really big piece for 5th grade is the author and you, which students have to go back to the text to find details to support their thinking. This is a challenge for most kids, so really having them find the details and put them into their short answer responses is something we're going to spend a lot of time on this year. In math, we're going to do a lot of place value, geometry, fractions, decimals, measurements, operations, and graphing as well. In science and social studies, you'll see we'll have some plants, matter, patterns in the sky, some STEM activities. We've got colonies, Native Americans, economics, American Revolution, and we do a research project on presidents, and then we also look into explorers. Reading response journals is also going to be a really important part of our classroom. This is a chance for students to do some independent reading and practice on reading at their own level. Students will use the reading response notebooks to encourage reading across genres. They will conference with the teacher, they will work on letter writing, and they will be immersed in the text. For this, they will have a goal of 25 books for the year, and the goal will include different genres such as poetry, informational, fantasy, so it really gives them the opportunity to explore some different areas of reading. Students will be able to learn. This is really the biggest piece of my classroom as far as behavior management goes, and I know I spoke about that a little bit earlier in my VBF information, but this is the most important piece in my classroom. Students will be able to learn, and as long as my classroom is doing that and students in my room are doing that, there will not be any kind of behavior problems. as a class right now, we are creating a contract. So that's going to be kind of the core of our classroom management and our classroom community. This is an example of one that I had from last year. We promised to be responsible, respectful, and Christ-like every day. We will love God, Mary, and Jesus and all of their children. We will work together, be kind and cooperative. Finally, we will learn and have fun. So that is the core of our classroom. And in any situation that students are not doing those things, being kind, being cooperative, being respectful or responsible, then we will follow through with that VBF plan where they will have a rethink, a safe seat, a mini conference and office. The take-home binders, hopefully you've already seen, will travel to and from school each day. There will be different sections in there. The assignment book will be included in that. We'll have important papers. We'll have a for home section where students can keep those papers at home, a homework section, and then there will be loose leaf notebook paper in there for the WSQs. Communication is really, really important for me. I'm going to email you. If you don't have access to the internet, I am very happy to send home any important information with your child in their homework folder. And also, please let me know if you haven't already been receiving emails from me, because I have parent contact list, and if you're not on there, I definitely want to get you added as soon as possible. I also have the Picket Fence blog, which is linked at the bottom of every single email that I have. It's also on our Curie of Ours website. That's where I will put homework assignments, flipped videos, and any other important information you might need for 5th grade. Remind is another great way for me to communicate with you. It's an app, and it's also a text messaging server, I guess you would call it, that allows me to safely and efficiently interact with you about important information. So it's a private messaging service that makes certain that 100% of parents and students are alerted to what's going on. So you can either send a text to this information right here, and whenever I push out information, you'll receive a text from me. Now, if you reply to that text message, it will probably prompt you to send me an email. However, if you use the app, I believe it allows us to communicate within that app if you have any questions. So there are 2 ways for you to get information. That's just a quick text message, a reminder about a cold lunch or a field trip or homework due that I can quickly send to your phone. Now, you or your student can get access to this information, and again, it doesn't allow us to have like a text messaging conversation. It only allows you to receive messages. If you need to respond, you will have to send an email. I'm really excited for a great year. I hope this wasn't too much information for you, but please feel free to, again, watch it again, rewind it, pause it, or contact me if you have any further questions. And I'm really looking forward to a great year. I'm excited to be in 5th grade, but please bear with me as this is a new year for me, a new grade for me anyways, and I just hope it goes really well for everybody. Thanks again, and I will hope to see you all soon.